Good day, and welcome to the Lilly Roddy Show, coming to you from the LRS studios here in Houston, Texas. Thank you for joining me as I talk about the upcoming week of June 1st through June 7th. Now, here in Houston, we have certainly had some very intense rains this last week. And of course, we're having a drought in Texas, and certainly we're affected by it here in Houston. And we do need rain, but we just didn't need, 10 inches to fall in 3 days. So it's been a rainy, and we've been flooding around here, but we're all doing well. Our most important astrological event this week is Mercury going stationary retrograde on June 7th. Mercury is already slowing down, and you should already be feeling the effects of the Mercury retrograde even now. And with Mercury retrograde, it's always a good time to revisit the past, finish up existing projects, and to visit any kind of past aspects in your life, like a high school reunion. Mercury retrograde will last until July 7th, so don't do anything new or start any new projects until then. If you'd like to contact me here at the LRS studios, you can reach me at lilyroddyshow@aol.com. You can find me on our website, lilyroddyshow.com, and on Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. We are listed under Lilly Roddy Show. Let's have a look at next week's planetary forecast. Sunday, June 1st, the day begins with the moon in Cancer, but she quickly becomes void of course. The moon conjuncts Jupiter at 1:32 a.m. If you're awake, it's a great time for a late night breakfast with friends, and we're all feeling a lot more positive and optimistic. The moon is now void of course from 1:32 a.m. until 8:43 p.m. when the moon enters creative Leo. This means that the moon will be void of course or not connected to the other planets for the majority of the day, 19 hours in fact. And we are in an active period of long void of course moon times. With the moon void of course in Cancer, it's probably best that we focus our activities on our family, our home, or even on familiar people and activities. Later in the evening, the moon does enter active Leo at 8:43 p.m. There are no lunar aspects for the rest of the day, but we'll feel more energized because the moon is no longer void of course. Monday, June 2nd, the moon transits Leo, the sign of passion, for the entire day. The moon squares Venus at 7:10 a.m. This is a very good morning to indulge in our own sensual desire nature. We deserve it. So have that extra donut, sleep in, spoon with your partner. All great things for moon square Venus. Later in the afternoon, the moon sextiles Mars at 5:17 p.m. We notice that we feel much more active and focused this afternoon. You'll find this an opportune time to take on any sort of task and finish it without too many difficulties. In the evening, the moon sextiles the sun at 9:54 p.m. The energy of this aspect serves to keep the latter part of the day interesting and motivational. We desire some fun and distraction this evening. Although it can be a good time to entertain business clients, the mood remains very lighthearted. Tuesday, June 3rd. The moon resides in adoring Leo all day, but she will become void of course and remain so for more than half the day. Sounds like we just have void of course moons every day. The moon trines Uranus at 4:10 a.m. If you're awake at this time, you're sliding into your day easily. We'll want to get things done, but at our own pace. the moon squares Saturn at 9:42 a.m. We pay much closer attention this morning to all kinds of details. This is an ideal time to assess or make corrections to areas of your life that aren't satisfying. But don't let Saturn turn your morning into a downer. Try to plan and schedule your activities before 9:42, because the moon goes void of course at 9:42 a.m. in Leo. And that moon will be void of course until Wednesday morning at 9:20 a.m. That's almost a full 24 hours. Stick to your to-do list and it will be a productive day. Now Wednesday is a more productive day, and you may want to schedule your more important activities for that day. Wednesday, May 4th. The moon starts the morning, void of course in self-focused Leo, but she will enter Virgo as most of us begin our workday. Venus sextiles Neptune at 8:16 a.m. This is a good combination of the practical and the creative. These concepts can blend easily without there being a sense of compromise. This aspect is in effect all day, so use it as the perfect time to address any type of negotiations, relationship agreements, or even addressing the needs of an individual in any particular situation. With this aspect, we can all just get along. The moon enters Virgo, the sign of the craftsperson, at 9:20 a.m. We feel a lot more grounded and ready to make efficient use of our time and energy. Moon sextiles Mercury at 3:11 p.m. This energy provides a great afternoon to get your message across to others much more clearly. So express yourself. It's a good time for anything from performing day-to-day tasks to negotiating a new contract. Take some time to add to your blog or to your personal journal. Thursday, June 5th. The moon inhabits routine-loving Virgo for the entire day. Early in the morning, the moon opposes Neptune at 12:38 a.m. This aspect provides the energy to experience a wonderful time, enjoying a glass of wine and a fabulous conversation with someone special. The moon trines Venus at 2:24 a.m. This is prime time for sleeping and enjoying pleasant dreams. If you're awake, you're just feeling kind of lazy. The moon trines Pluto later in the morning at 11:24 a.m. This aspect will make things flow more smoothly this late morning and early afternoon. We're all experiencing a strong, practical mood. Solutions to difficult problems are found more easily at this time. In the afternoon, the moon squares the sun at 3:39 p.m. We definitely need some distraction in our day during this time. Take some time to get away from your routine or shift over to another project so you don't feel so bogged down. And in the evening, the moon sextiles Saturn at 9:43 p.m. You have finally checked off the last thing on your to-do list. It's a great time to be working on a late-night project or just getting yourself ready for the next day. Friday, June 6th. The moon resides in productive Virgo as the day begins. However, she will become void of course before most of us start our workday and remain so until late in the evening. The moon sextiles Jupiter at 4:13 a.m. If you're awake, you're making big plans for the day. Make sure you don't overfill your dance card. The moon now goes void of course at 4:13 a.m. The moon will be void of course until 9:01 p.m. this evening, and yet another long void of course moon day. With this moon void of course, stick to what's in front of you and don't push yourself too hard. The sun sextiles Uranus at 6:20 a.m. this is a very strong, mentally active combination of planets. These energies allow us to brainstorm, see things from a whole new perspective, or even allow us to visualize a whole new progressive belief system that enhances our own lives. We will feel very active and energetic all day because this aspect is in effect all day, and you may discover a lot of new ideas, but it may be hard to ground them during this void of course moon. Take notes as you'll be able to put them into play next week. This aspect, of course, is in effect all day. The moon does enter Libra, the compromiser, at 9:01 p.m. We're feeling more grounded this evening and better able to get things done. And of course, by this time, we're definitely feeling the effects of Mercury going stationary retrograde, although this does not take place officially until Saturday morning at 6:57 a.m. Keep your plans simple and all will be well. Saturday, June 7th. The moon transits Libra, the sign of the diplomat, all day. The moon squares Mercury at 3:10 a.m. If you're awake, this is a great time to be reviewing the past or taking a nostalgic look back at your family and friends. Today, Mercury goes stationary retrograde at 6:57 a.m. and at 3 degrees of Cancer. This is one of the strongest times of the Mercury retrograde cycle. Things may not go as you planned today. Be flexible and address what faces you in the moment. Mercury will be out of the retrograde period and back up to speed by July 7th. Plan your new projects after that time. Use Mercury retrograde to take care of and finish any existing projects you have on hand. Later in the evening, the moon conjuncts Mars at 6:31 p.m. Our emotions are right on our sleeve, and our shortness of temper is certainly going to be showing with this combination of planetary energies. Burn off this energy at the gym or at the park, and a couple of margaritas afterwards can't hurt either. The moon squares Pluto at 9:51 p.m. The moon is reactivating the remnants of the cardinal cosmic cross this evening. We are feeling edgy and unsatisfied. We have a clearer vision concerning what we don't want rather than what we do want. Use this information to move forward and get rid of those things you don't want with this moon square Pluto. Well, that's all for this week, and I want to thank you for joining me on my show. Please take some time to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't. I'm always glad to get your questions and comments. Please join us next week as we look at June 8th through June 14th. This is the Lilly Roddy Show, coming to you from the LRS studios right here in Texas, reminding you to keep those stars in your eyes. Bye-bye. See you next week.